So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot. Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
And welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You know, it does my heart well to have this time together, especially in times like these. This is like a family reunion that has been waiting to happen because last year we did this interview, but it was virtually, and I threw a temper tantrum. I said, why are you on my screen and not in this studio? And voila, here he is. Now, I just have to say that I'm so proud of you and welcome to the Madhouse. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Look, I could be here all day with all of these titles, the long listings, but today we'll just say we love Dynamic Cares.
That's right.
So the brainchild, the mastermind, the visionaire, Darius Thomas, and the crowd goes wild. Tell me a little bit about the vision that brought us to this point of Dynamic Cares being such an intricate part of the world.
I'm so happy that you asked. Thank you so much for having me here. Dynamic Cares was created a few years ago to really change the world. We support people with disabilities who need support services like physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. We provide scholarships to them. We also support people with disabilities and their families to ensure that they're thriving in life. Our people with disabilities are considered a part of the marginalized community, and I want to ensure that they have all the tools that they need to be successful.
That's good. And when you start talking about identifying the ways that we can help, first we have to identify the safe spaces to say we need help. So when you're working with these families, are they coming to you through doctors? Are they coming to you through school counselors? How do you find your tribe?
That's a great question. They currently find us through our school partners. We have 13 schools that we work with, and we're servicing over 400 people a week.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa, congratulations.
Thank you.
And when do you sleep? That's a lot.
I get my 8 hours every single night. I make sure I sleep between 10 to 6 or 11 to 7. Hey, I try to find my time.
Yeah.
I must prioritize my rest as well so I can show up for others. But they also find us through insurance companies or on Google. They typically look for free speech therapy services, or they're looking for independent living skills because we teach those to people with disabilities. And they say, hey, we need support services. We need free support services. Dynamic Cares provides free services. So we go out and we raise money. We find grants and opportunities to support people with disabilities. And they come to us because there's a need.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because in Georgia, they stopped speech therapy services at 20 years and 11 months. So how do you expect people to now be a thriving adult when you cut out their interventions?
That's a good question. And who would think that was okay? You know, like there are conversations that's being held for people to say this will be the guideline, this will be the cutoff, and then no such thing as what's next or what happens to you after the fact or because of.
Sure.
You know, and those are the things that we need to start normalizing at the conversation for the dinner tables, because those are the names that's popping up on the ballot.
That's right.
And we have to make sure that we're letting our voices be heard and we're representing and standing in the gap for those who may need us, because it could be them today and us tomorrow.
That's right.
When you're working with these 13 school partners, when you're working with these 400 students, there is no cookie cutter. Every person is unique. Every person needs a dynamic plan.
That's right.
So how do you identify the partners and those course corrections to make sure that it's fitting?
We go right into the communities of which we want to serve, quite honestly. We're looking to be change makers in environments that need us. And so we typically find our partners by happenstance. They have a need, and we're just so fortunate to be able to meet that need.
Yeah. And what's the age range?
We service all ages. We have clients as young as 1 year old. We have 1 year olds, and then we go all the way up. Yeah, there's no limit. There's no cap.
That's really good. And for the family wraparound services, because it's not just that person with a disability that has a learning curve. Now we have to learn how to normalize the conversation for them so we don't make anyone at the table feel odd or out of place or not wanting to ask certain questions that may inform others who may not know. Tell us a little bit about what those family services consist of.
Well, currently we support people with disabilities for the independent living skills.
Uh-huh.
We have family support groups. We also do inclusive educational sessions to where we support families as well as educators to teach them how to be more inclusive in their teaching to work with people with disabilities. Because there's an umbrella term called neurodivergence, but within that you have autism and ADHD. We're living amongst people with those disability classifications. And that's amongst us every single day. And so we're trying to make sure that people are being inclusive in their communication, that we're teaching people how to navigate the hiring process when you're trying to bring on someone that's autistic or ADHD. And we're trying to help those with different disabilities to navigate those spaces appropriately.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I would like to even encourage a lot of the entrepreneurs to allow that space to say that I do have a job opening and I would love to hear more about your services and how we can be more inclusive to make sure that we're not marginalizing what we're doing and who we're doing it with or for.
That's right. We typically cater to typically developing individuals. And as soon as we see a quirk with some individuals, we're like, oh no, we don't want them around us, but not considering that they may have a disability. Maybe they have a fluency disorder. Right now, this exchange that we're having, our clients typically have difficulties with that. The eye contact, the fluency, the articulation. We're really supporting people in all areas of life so they can be successful. And we really should not judge people because they make an error grammatically or because they make an error with social communication or maybe they can't have turn taking in a conversation. We're trying to make sure our people with disabilities can build their resumes, that they can interview appropriately, that they can go out and get a job, and that they can thrive when their parents leave this earth.
You know, that's amazing because once you have those caregivers, it's usually a parent and they have a sense of uncertainty of what happens if I'm not around, what happens when I'm not able to be here. So building those type of comfort levels, making sure that their child can be independent or that they have someone there in their corner, that's got to help. I know that Dynamic Cares is typically located in Atlanta.
That's right.
I mean, but you're from Baton Rouge,
Hey,
Louisiana,
yes, I
roots and
am.
out and about spreading the love. What has been one of the highlights for you on this journey of seeing it flourish the way that it has in Atlanta?
Well, I'm getting chills thinking about it. So after our charity brunch last year, we ended up getting a great partnership with the Shaka Khan Foundation. Yeah, Shaka Khan. So we ended up partnering with them, and we now have a communication board in a park in Fulton County in Georgia. And we're so grateful about that partnership because what that communication board is doing is allowing non-speaking individuals to have a form of communication in a public park.
Wow.
And so this year at the Charity Brunch, we're going to be raising funds so we can continue that initiative with the Shaka Khan Foundation. But I'm so thrilled about that because it shows that we're doing impactful work and that larger foundations are seeing the work that we're doing and they want to join in on that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that TD Jakes Foundation is now a partner of Dynamic Cares, and they gave us $10,000 for this year's charity brunch. So
congratulations.
things are happening, and I'm so grateful.
Yes, as you should be. But you know, you have been so responsible with the platform that God granted you.
That's right.
And it's never been about you and what you want to do and how you want to do it. It's about servicing those who need it the way that they need it.
That's right.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And when he starts talking about their charity brunch, baby, let's talk about it. So last year, I didn't know what to expect. I just thought it was a nice field trip, going to go hang out with some nice folks and, you know, learn a few things. We did trivia. We got to watch the sharks float through. The food was amazing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was like, this is live.
Yes.
And everyone in that room left feeling inspired, empowered, and a little bit better than we were when we walked through that door. This year, we're at it again.
That's right.
I'm so grateful you decided not to do it without me because
right.
I was so excited. I was like, oh,
yes, had to bring you back.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're so stellar.
April 12th.
Yes.
2026. Tickets are on sale right now. Sponsorship levels are available right now. Let's talk about it. Where are we going first and foremost?
We're going to the world-renowned Georgia Aquarium. Honestly, one of the nicest venues I've ever been to in my life.
Mine too.
It's beautiful. It's stunning.
Right. I didn't even think that someone could transform a space like that and say, okay, yeah, let's go do an event here. But
Yes.
you did.
Yes.
And with every ticket, let's just say that if they were to buy a table, how many families would they be able to assist by saying, I want to sponsor a table?
Yes. So when you do a table, that's $1,700. That provides 50 free speech therapy sessions. So I highly encourage you to buy a table. That comes with 10 seats.
Yes.
And then you get to bring your friends and your family to support a great cause and to provide speech therapy services in your community.
And the networking that you do there. You meet others in the profession. You meet others in the city. You meet others who have traveled from across the state. You do a lot of the mixers there where the people come in and they talk about their experiences and how it is that we want to do things like this in our area too. This is so important. For every ticket that's sold, Dynamic Cares is being able to pay it forward in the right way. So I know this is April 12th, 2026.
Yes.
How do we learn more about the organization and get these tickets?
Yes, you can go to welovedynamiccares.com. We have a plethora of different ticket options, but please note that all tickets do come with a 3-course meal. It comes with a 1-hour cocktail hour with an open bar, as well as heavy hors d'oeuvres. The food is delicious, but ultimately all the proceeds are going to impactful services in the community to support people with disabilities as well as their families.
That's right. Do you have a few more minutes?
I do.
Okay, good. Because you always enlighten me and I always feel so much better. You have a lot of families that may be a little more sensitive of having this conversation because they don't really know how to explain it, right? When things are abnormal to us or to anyone because it's not our sense of normalcy on our doorstep day to day. What are some of those things that may be triggers that we want to stay away from when we're trying to engage in a conversation to learn more?
We should never make assumptions. We should avoid assumptions by all means.
Okay.
We also should not be so judgmental by the image. Lastly, we should consider that all disabilities, you can't see them. So just because you see someone get out of a car with a handicap sticker, but they're walking able, that doesn't mean that they don't have an impairment that is impacting them and that disability does not exist. So let's not be so hypercritical of people by way of what we see, but really get to know people and ask genuine, sincere questions.
That's good. Very good. See, I always feel better when I talk to you because you have this sense, and it's a gift. God calls who he needs to do what he needs them to do.
That's right.
And in this space, you get to work with these children, you get to work with these parents, you get to work with these communities. And whenever you are in the community doing what you do, it's in the spirit of excellence.
Absolutely, always.
Making these partnerships, what is the one thing that you want to make sure that the messaging never fades?
Whew, that's such a great question. It feels so heavy. I want you to ask one more time.
All money is not good money.
That's right.
And sometimes you'll have to make a tougher decision. So what is it that would make you say, oh, that's not good money. I can't be associated with that because it will alter the messaging of what I'm doing. What is that moral compass for you to make sure that Dynamic Cares is the megaphone?
I would say naturally, we're here to serve and we want to be impactful in the delivery of our services. Anything that feels unethical or illegal, we avoid by all means. That is our baseline. Once we find something to be unethical or illegal, we say no, we don't want to be a part of that. And that's naturally what comes to mind. As practitioners, I'm a licensed speech pathologist. We are bound by ethics.
Mhm.
And so we want to make sure that everything that we do is rooted in excellence and by ethical standards.
And I'm glad that you mentioned ethical standards because it's such a space where it's vulnerable from jump, and usually when people find services that are free, they're judgmental on it because they think that they're having to compromise the quality of something because it's free. And that's not the case when you come to Dynamic Cares. It's led by a moral compass. It's led with the intentions to give and for you not to notice that it was free because the sacrifices have already been made. And even those moral compass sacrifices are continuously being made because they want to make sure that every time, every family, every client walks through the door, they're getting what they need.
Absolutely.
And they're not being taken advantage of.
For sure. I am very grateful for my team members, my board of directors, my
Yes.
staff, because they're truly doing impactful work and they're generally and sincerely trying to change the world,
They are.
one client at a time.
Absolutely. And if you would like to become a client, if you would like to learn more, even if you want to just pay it forward, be sure to go on to welovedynamiccares.org. Again, that's welovedynamiccares.com.
Dynamiccares.com.
I was
.com.
yes,
That's
so far.
right.
And on top of that, make a field trip to Atlanta because I'm all about that life, right? We can catch the flight, we can drive, we can hit Greyhound, whatever it is, just get there if you can.
Yes, please. Come on down to Atlanta. It's going to be a great time. And I'm releasing a children's book that weekend.
Stop. Are you
Yes,
kidding me?
I wrote a children's book to bring awareness, thank you, to the area of speech therapy because we need diversity. Less than 1% of Black men, less than 5% are Black in the entire profession of speech language pathology. We need more diversity. And our kids need to have representation in their books.
Right.
And that's very rare to find.
Did not know that.
Yes.
I did not know
Children's book
that.
coming out.
That's
So exciting.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Those numbers are astounding.
Yeah.
Like
Less than
wow.
1% Black men are in the field of speech therapy. But think about it, over 60% of kids that are receiving speech therapy services are Black. But they don't have people giving them those services that look like them. It's typically Caucasian women. And a lot of the men that are speech therapists, they stutter.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
No, that's some
You know.
food for thought. Yeah, absolutely. And we want you to be a part of this program, be a part of the process. I'm skipping the line for the book signing.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to tell him that. I want him to hear the furniture moving and be like, wait, what is that? That's 10 cutting up about this book. How it is. It is. But I'm doing it for the kids because
That's
I
right.
love these babies. We love dynamiccares.com. And I love you.
I love you too.
I know you got more work to do, so I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. And I'll see you in Atlanta.
Can't wait. Thank you so much.